Right. So we got everybody. So today, engagement. We're seeing it. It'll add energy to this. This is live for a reason. We've done pre-recordings. Gino and I did a radio show for 10 years, and we tried to do it not live, and it's not the same. When you can engage, you can ask
Yeah.
questions, and it's organic, and we get to go with the flow. And nobody better than that than my good friend Bill Hart. If you don't know Coach Bill Hart, he's one of my good friends, mentors, buddies, and one of the premier important people in our industry because he always gives back. And we've become even more attached because we happen to bump into each other on a flight to go plan for Momentum Builder. And you just happened to be in the flight, so we got to sit next to you, get a little planning session. I took, I think, 4 pages of notes on the
Yeah,
plane,
exactly.
and you had joined us at our think tank, and now an integral part of how we can make Momentum Builder better and make you all better. I
Yeah,
know,
man.
Bill, you make me better. You make everybody. That's your goal in life, and you're good at it. So thanks for being
Thanks,
on our
buddy.
call. Woo!
My pleasure, my honor, man. It's always so fun to be here. And yeah, I
Praise
feel
that.
like you're my, you know how we have these portable, phone chargers that we all travel with now? Like you're mine, Don. You always bring just a little extra oomph, a little extra energy. So yeah, appreciate you being my portable charger.
I like that. That's a great analogy. I'm gonna have to steal that sometime. But you're
Come on,
mine as
man.
well. I've
Right
never
on.
seen
It works.
anything but positive energy,
Creates a circle
which
then.
we all need because we'll start off with, facts. We've all, you and I have been in this for, probably both of us close to 40 years. We've seen a lot of ups and downs. We've seen a lot of success, a lot of challenges. This last 3 years has been tough. We've gotten our teeth kicked in a little bit, and I'm going to start off with we've all been kind of, and you're in the grind still. We're in the grind. We see what's happening daily. We have a lot of my team members are on this call. Good job, team. And because you're smart enough to be on these calls. But everybody's been kind of waiting for the market to go back to normal. There is no normal. It's shifted. The market has shifted. We're not going back the way it was. So we have to move forward, adapt, and capitalize on opportunities. Am I right?
100%.
Okay. So I want to dig into what you're seeing, Bill, because you talk
Yeah.
to those that are adapting and succeeding. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's just too tough out there." I've been telling my team, and you can correct me. I'd love to get your opinion. And my team members are on here. We just talked about yesterday. We have a weekly sales meeting, which I love because we collaborate, we share best practices, we help each other, which is imperative. And that's why it's good you're on these calls and part of our community is because it's so hard to do it on your own. But I've been telling my team that, all right, we push hard. Gino and I are always pushing them hard, and I'm sure you're the same way. Like, come on, gang, put your effort in. You got to dig in. You got to do what you hadn't had to do for 2 years, and all these things. And admittedly, it's been tough because you push hard and don't get a lot of return on your investment because the market's been slow. I'm sorry, affordability is at one of the worst it's been in a long time. Rates went up the fastest in history. It stalled our market. So a lot of our team, I gave them, a little bit of a get out of jail free card, just saying, yes, I get it. You've been putting effort in and not getting the return on all that investment. But I've been telling them, I'm like, now you are. If you start putting your investment in, we've gotten past the worst, I believe. I think it's going to slowly, it's not going to be gangbusters. We're not getting a refi boom tomorrow. At least I don't think so. But the market will slowly improve as rates come down, and rates are coming down. Everybody's feeling better getting past the, uh, you know, figuring out who is going to be elected. We're dealing with some tariff, you know, concerns. We'll get past that. I do believe that we're going to start improving. And therefore, if you put that effort in like you should, I think you'll get more return on those efforts. Do you agree?
No, no, it's a good time to get out of the business.
There you
I
go.
would just do something
There you
different.
go.
Yeah.
There's
Um,
somebody who's telling it like it is.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I just think there's so much opportunity. And I try and just surround myself, Don, with people that make things happen. And it's just not about the market, you guys. We we could cite, Don and I could both cite example after example after example, and I'll give you a few of it's just not about the market. And if you resign yourself to the fact that it is, then you're always going to be a victim, or you'll celebrate when rates are low. It's like, wow, this is great. And when rates go up again, it's like, oh, this is terrible. And so, these peaks and valleys are the things that we have to remove. And I'm not being Pollyanna about that. I realize that there is less inventory, that rates are higher, that you got a lot of people at 2 7/8 that don't want to do anything. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there are other ways to stimulate conversation and activity. And so when you ask me for the things that I'm seeing, I came up with this list of 3 things. And so I'd love for you guys to write this down. It's identify, diversify, and amplify. So what do I mean by that? Identify, what I mean by that is figure out who the heck you are. Because if you are, so think about this. We just had 60,000 loan officers not renew their licenses. 60,000. And I would submit that they're decent human beings, they're good people, you should hang out with them, buy them a beer, hug them at
And you need
church,
it.
like, right? Yeah, yeah. Buy them 2 beers,
Right.
buy them a sandwich. But
Yeah,
they're
pass it
good.
on.
They're right, totally. They're good people. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with these people, but they came in at the time where all you had to do was to be a mechanic. All you had to do was know how to put a loan together, and you could learn how to do that, and the phone would ring and you would be fed a certain amount. And when that went away, it just became untenable. It wasn't something that someone could do any longer. And so they've left the business. So then, Don, my experience is the next group says, okay, so there's fewer people, there's fewer overall transactions, there's fewer people. Cool, that's how I'm going to win. And I would say, yeah, that's part of it, right?
Hmm.
Like there's
I mean,
fewer
what,
forks in a
2/3
smaller
are gone.
pie.
We went from
Yeah,
450 down to 117,
dude,
450,000 down to 117. And
right?
I love your opinion on this because I tell my team, and out of those 117, you may have 25,000 that are fully engaged.
Totally,
The rest are not fully
totally,
engaged. They're just saying they're still working.
for
Um,
sure.
and they know on our team, we've actually been unloading those that are not all in. We're like
Nice.
we're like setting them free because we don't want them dragging down those that are ready to lean in and take advantage of where the
You
market
bet.
is. Okay.
So, and you guys know that in every other area of your life. You know that honestly with your friends. There probably have been some friends in your circle over the years while you've been married, neighbors, whatever. It's like, I don't really want to hang out with them because they bring me down. And if we're honest, there's going to be people in the business that will do the same thing. So to find people like being a part of momentum builders, making sure that sales mastery is on your calendar in October in Dallas. Am I right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Middle of the
Like,
country. Want everybody there.
it's perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
nearly everybody can get a nonstop to Dallas, right? So
Right. That
it's
was
a
the
perfect
plan.
way to go.
Plus, we
But
got
the
rid of the
point is, you guys,
distractions of Vegas.
I get it. I get it. But so much baggage that comes with that, right? So
Right.
you guys made the right decision for the right reasons. I'm just saying my philosophy has always been I hang out with people that are better than me. I hang out with people that stretch me. And so I would encourage all of you to do the same thing. And so when I talk about identify, what I mean is what makes you special? I start thinking, Don, about Sean Herrera. You had him on stage last year. You know him well.
We
You
were
guys, if you
actually the
don't,
ones who kind of created him, like found him
totally,
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
totally. Sean is an amazing human being, you guys.
Mhm.
This guy is, first of all, he looks like a model. So he's, like just
Yeah.
crazy handsome. He drives a Sprinter van, which is also his office, which he
Right.
often backs up to the ocean and then goes body surfing and takes pictures and turns those into big photographs
The
and then
adventure
takes calls
lender.
in the van.
The adventure lender, he calls himself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is absolute genius. He's got a love and respect for the military and the best of the best of the military, which is very much what I wrote about in my book, White Collar Warrior Lessons for Sales Professionals from America's Military Elite. It's like, what are these Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Top Gun instructors, what did they have going on that we can learn from? So, Don, my point to you simply is Sean Herrero figured out that's who I am. That's the way I'm going to show up as a mortgage lender. He does not look like your typical mortgage lender.
Oh, hat
And he
backwards,
did uh,
casual. He's
totally
always got his hat
casual.
backwards, all
It's
cash,
who he is, man.
but he
And he
provides
did
value.
220, 240 million, I think, 4 or 5 years ago.
108, 108. Well, yeah, over 200 a couple
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago when the boom. But even last year when everybody was struggling, we looked it up because he was on our call last week. And
Nice.
just to, a lot of people talk, and God
Yep.
knows, we know about those who are like, oh, $100 million producer. And we look it up and going, why'd you do 15
Not
last
so
year?
much.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
Sean did 106 million last year, and
Dude,
he's already on track for more than that this year.
he totally is. And he has this mindset. I mean, you heard him if you interviewed him. He has this mindset of, why can't I do more? Like, I need
Yeah,
more. There were
he's bummed he's not doing
274,000,
200.
right? Well, that's what he's focused on. He's focused on the fact that in California last year, there were 274,000 homes sold, like 274,000 transactions. So if you look at your state, if you look at your city, if you look at your market, and you look at how much overall business is being done out there, my challenge to you is how do you go out and get your unreasonable fair share of that? Right? Not waiting for it to happen, but going out to get it. So identify who you are. Sean did that. That's the way he shows up. Nicole Ruth, many of you know
Oh,
Nicole.
another rock star, top 150
Coach
in the nation.
Totally. And I coached her for, I think, 8 years. I know Nicole very well. She owns 24 residential and 2 commercial properties. She is all about wealth building through real estate. She is doing this personally. She's doing it with her kids. She has a special heart for women. She created an event. I remember in a coaching session, she was calling on realtors, Don, back at the time. She was with Fairway, and she had two paths, like is so often the case. She could go build a team and recruit a bunch of LOs like you guys have done, or she could go down the path of becoming the rainmaker and creating support underneath her. But she was out calling on realtors, and she's like, Coach, like they don't show up for the meetings, they're not there. I don't know. And I just suggested innocently, why don't you build an event and bring them to you? And she started doing that. And now she has, I think it's the largest event in Denver, Colorado. She's the number one producer in Colorado.
She
She has
is,
the
yeah.
largest event in Denver that she has created because she figured out this is who I am. Last person I'll mention is Denise Donahue, the mortgage nerd, right? She
The
wears
nerd.
glasses like these that have no glass in them because it's her brand, and she's top 1% in the country. And I don't know if you guys know her story, but she came from a tough financial family hardship environment where she was helping to pay the bills as a kid. She was selling stuff on eBay as a kid. She financed her own college education and graduated debt free. Once she graduated, she became a financial advisor, and after becoming a financial advisor, she got into mortgage lending. So my point simply is if you think about Sean, Nicole, and Denise, each one of them has stuff in their history, things that they're passionate about that they bring to mortgage lending. So I'm challenging you right now. If you're listening to this or you're listening to it later as a recording, figure out who you are at your core. What are you passionate about? What do you love? What does some of your background bring to you that separates you from that 25-year-old kid working at Rocket in Detroit, wearing a headset, reading a script? You guys, this is your moment. This is your opportunity. So, Don, when I talk about identify, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Hey,
I
Gino's
love it.
joined us. Hey, Gino.
Oh no, freaking the our rent just went down.
Ah,
Our
we were
property
doing so
values
well.
just went down.
He's probably in his car. Oh no, there he is.
I was just going to be listen only, chat in the chat room, leave you guys.
But suddenly,
No, no, no. I just finally logged in because Don said he had it today, so I was all doing my thing, and then he's like, "Are you coming?" I'm like, "I guess."
Well, I mean,
if you're
it's
gonna
Bill
shame
Hart. Come
him,
on.
yeah,
Why not?
We always have a
buddy,
good
so
time with
glad to
Billy.
have you.
How you doing, boys?
Ah,
So good,
rocking and
man.
rolling. I'm already pumped up. Just in 18 minutes, I'm like mic drop already, Bill. This is good stuff. Really good. And the three
Does it
names you brought up
react
are
to me? You guys personally and with your team around you, do you see what I see in top producers who have figured out who they are, and they bring that element to mortgage lending, and they separate themselves from kind of that beige quality of loan officers. Do you see what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah,
And
I
we
mean,
actually have somebody on our call here that we may bring out because he's on every call. His passion to be better is amazing, but didn't have the structure or the disciplines to go with it. And now that he's being helped and supported in that direction and applying those disciplines, right? He's gone from hardly closing loans for a while because he was a little lost to closing 3 to 4 million a month within
Awesome.
3 months. Like he's
That's
crushing
fantastic.
it because he's actually listening and implementing steps to
So cool.
improve and take
So cool.
advantage of opportunities. And now I would imagine this person knows who I'm talking about. He can probably chime in. Do you feel the opportunities now, Troy? Because he's just a perfect. I do see.
Nice.
He
I'll
just
tell you.
really changing things around because he's seeing opportunities now. And I know that was one of his questions, is like, what are the opportunities?
Well, I think I think it feels a lot like, first of all, everybody was lost for a little while, and that was okay, but we were just lost too long. Like, I don't know, like that's the reality. We were just lost too long looking for I don't know what, looking for 2020 again. That we knew that was never going to happen again. But it's almost like people, and we were like, look, I mean, the motto last year at Momentum Builder was reboot. Some people did. Some people are still on the blue screen of death. You know, they just can't get,
True.
they just can't get out of it.
It's
Uh,
true.
but for those that do reboot and those that do refocus, you know, I say it does require discipline. This market requires discipline. It doesn't recommend discipline, it requires
Yeah,
discipline. Uh,
absolutely.
and so without it, you're not going to be found. You know, I said a little joke. I sent the video to our team this morning. I was like, I'm so glad that all of you talked to all of your refinance clients and you had all your strike points set up. And all you did this morning was wake up and lock 27 loans. But I know you didn't.
Right?
But you know you should have. And right now you'd be sitting on a pile of money if you did. And you would say, I'm so glad I did the work. So
Yep.
so for those of you that haven't, you didn't miss the opportunity. The opportunity's still here, but do the work. And don't just be reactive to the phone calls and the emails and the
Oh,
no
it's too late nowadays. That's
huh?
what I'm saying. The market's shifted. That old waiting for your client or think your client's going to call you. There's too much competition out there. Everybody's going
Totally.
after your clients.
Yeah, there's Troy. I told Troy because you know, loan officers as a whole have a tendency. I got this
It's
deal.
Troy.
I got this deal. I got this deal. I got this deal. I go, you didn't get shit. You got a prospect. And so I told Troy, I said, don't tell me about anything until it's locked. That's a deal.
That's
And so
why he put it in the chat. That's
I put,
hilarious.
but listen, that's the reality. You can't cash prospects. You got to convert prospects
For sure.
to cash closed loans.
Well said.
So one
Well
of the
said.
subtleties that I've seen, you guys, that I'll bet you would recognize is, and I want everybody on this call to listen to it and then tell me if you're encouraged or convicted. And that is somewhere around 3 to 5 units a month. I find clients stopped talking about individual files and start talking more about their systems. And so I want to challenge you, you guys. If you're in that mode right now where it's like, man, it's all I can do to just dig 2 to 3 units a month out of the dirt right now. It's just so difficult. And I got the Martinez file and the Fleibowitz file and the Lipschitz file. Like, come on, everybody has a Lipschitz file. You know what I'm talking about. Like, so one
Gino has to
one
fix
way or
those all the
another,
time.
right? But we got to get past the file thinking. Mike Ferry used to talk about this 30 years ago, you guys, where it's like he would tell realtors, you have to get past the file. You have to start thinking about your systems, your
Love
team,
that.
the scalability of your activities, right? That's what's going to lead to the result. So, what I was talking about, Gino, is I've got 3 things here I want to talk about: identify, diversify, and amplify. So, identify, we talked about, like, what is it that makes you unique? What is it that makes you so interesting that people actually want to talk to you? And Troy, when we start thinking about the opportunities that are out there, I'm going to just suggest, if you haven't gone through your phone, if you're an iPhone user, if you're an Android user, I don't know what to do with you. But if you go to your contacts and scroll down to the bottom, I've got 3,500 contacts in my phone. Here's what I know. I don't care if they're a title rep, an escrow officer, your next door neighbor, the guy that rebuilt your vinyl gate, or a DoorDash driver. Everybody needs a roof. Like, write that down. Everybody needs a roof. Maybe they're a buyer, maybe they're a seller, maybe they're a renter, but everybody needs a roof, you guys. And the more that we're connecting with people and just having conversations about what's going on, asking questions, listening to them, helping them to understand, maybe, let's go into diversify. Maybe one of the things that you need to be thinking about with the refi opportunities right now, not based on what rates might do, but what right now, take Mr. 2 7/8 who's so proud of his 30-year fixed, which I 100% understand, and help him take a look at his non-secured debt. Like, how's that look for you right now? Maybe we really need to have that debt consolidation conversation, because we can help you save some money right now. But they're not thinking about that. They just know they've got a 2 7/8 30-year fixed. They're not thinking about the fact they're paying 27.99% on $25,000 on a credit card.
That's
We need
stressing
to
them
help
out
those
on top
people.
of it, the stress, because they know they should be
Of
paying that
course.
off. There's
And
a
they're
lot of
making
stress.
minimum payments, and it's
Yep.
getting worse every month.
Right.
And right?
Yeah.
I feel terrible about this, but this is the reality, right? Get them in a HELOC now. It's kind of like a gateway drug. At the end of you guys know how I went through high school now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 5 years from now, when that thing reamortizes, boom, you have
Totally.
a refi. Yeah.
Totally.
Don and I
There's so
refi.
much opportunity.
Yeah. I mean,
There's so much opportunity. So diversification, well, for some people, it could just be this mindset of, you know what, I need to reach out to my database. Your phone is like a laydown for me. You know, you've all got somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 people in your phone, let alone what you've got in whatever database that you're using, whatever CRM
or social
you're using
media
right
or
now.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. It just has to be a place to set up calls. I heard Denise Donahue say the other day, she said, she's coaching now, right? And she's doing a great job. And she said, I am getting people to commit to working 1 hour a day. And when I first heard that, I thought, okay, that's ridiculous. I don't even know what she's
Right.
talking about. But you know what she meant? She meant like dollar productive activities. I'm actually doing stuff that moves the needle. Because you guys, here's what we know. If I'm honest with you, I just turned 70. So I don't know how to be anything other than honest, right? Grumpy old man with gray hair. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. You guys are wasting time and you're calling it work. You're looking at cars online. You're looking at the next Netflix binge. You're returning emails that don't matter. You're working, you're within the confines of a frame of time that you're calling work, but you're not moving the needle. I just had a client send me a picture of his. I'm a big fan of the Win by Noon planner. I don't know if you guys are
Oh yeah, Todd
players or
Brookspan.
not, but yeah, that, you know, Todd created a very simple physical planner, quarterly planner, that I have all my clients use until at some point they kind of graduate and they move someplace else. But it's like, let's get really deliberate about what you're spending time on. This guy is making 30 meaningful calls a day. And when he says meaningful calls, what he means is that's a conversation where we're having a conversation of some substance, right? I didn't leave a message. It wasn't that, like, we're just talking about life. We're talking about what's going on. 30 calls a day. He's doubled his business in the last 6 months because all I'm doing is holding him to that. Like, dude, tell me you'll make, he came up with a number. It wasn't my number. You can make 10, you can make 50. But that, Troy, you asked, you know, what's the opportunity? And I think it sounds like you're doing it. Like, that's the opportunity. And there it is. Troy just said, I couldn't agree more. Those are the calls I am having. I also took a different approach and started talking to my past clients about buying their first investment using a HELOC or a second to fund the investment. Dude, love that. I went all in after having the support from D&G, of course, with advising my clients how to turn that frozen asset into a moneymaker. Listen to that phrase. Every homeowner says that is their goal, but no one I have found follows up and advises them how. Yeah, Troy. Have you showcased Troy? Like, have a call with Troy. Come on. That's good stuff.
Well, what's nice is he's a success story.
Ironically, I will tell you, a lot of times Troy gets excited about a lot of things, and I say, "No, Troy, stay in the lane. Stay in the lane.
Stay in the lane. Yep.
And that's a lesson for all of us. Stay
Yep.
in the lane. Like, just stay doing what you're
Well,
doing.
everybody does shiny object. God knows, Bill, as a coach, how often do you have to handle that?
Constantly. I mean,
Yeah.
every single day. I've got a little $16 timer I have people buy on Amazon now. You press this and you just set the time and it just sits there. It's, it's the Pomodoro effect. You guys have heard it before. But it's just the idea of keeping focused on a simple task. I have more, suddenly it's like I'm advertising for ADHD clients. Holy cow. And you get
Gino.
people that are ADD and ADHD, and it's like you have to keep them in a lane for a specific period of time.
Skip all that stuff, man. Get the drugs. I have ADD, but fix it.
Exactly.
Fix it, right? Lock in. Take one of
For
these,
sure.
lock in for an hour, and do what you got to do.
The truth of the matter is, I interviewed a guy. His name is David Gewerk, Giwerc. He lives here in Southern California. He's an ADD coach. I sat down with him on his house. He had a basketball court, and he said, "Hey, do you mind if we record here on the court?" And he sat down and he's dribbling 2 basketballs while he's talking to me, and he is laser focused, right? Brilliant, because he's ADHD. That now teachers are learning they have to put kids on those bouncing balls instead of a classroom chair, right? Because they can focus if they're in motion. Then we transitioned to his garage where he had a heavy bag and he's kicking it while he's answering questions. It's like this guy has figured out how to use that unique wiring. How many of you on the call right now are ADD or ADHD, or you are somewhere on the spectrum? Like, come on.
Almost all
Put it in
salespeople.
chat. Somebody's in there. It's more than just Don and Gino, for goodness sakes. Come on.
Well, you got to think about it. Salespeople tend to be that way because you have to be kind of multifaceted and deal with the ebbs and flows of our industry. It's not go to a freezer, get the box. You're not sitting in a desk all
Totally.
day long doing the same thing over and over. Ours is very dynamic. You almost have to be. I've never met like a strong salesperson that doesn't have a little bit of that in them.
No
Seriously.
doubt.
Because the ones that aren't that way are the ones that are supporting us.
For sure, man.
Because they can
For
focus
sure.
on task at hand, meaning our processors, our LOAs, our underwriters. They are not ADHD. They have
You
to be
bet.
laser focused on the task at hand. Otherwise,
You bet.
they'll suck at it. The salespeople tend to be a little bit about that. You have to be a chameleon to go do all these things you got to do. But
Totally
I get what
agree.
you're saying is without focus, the day will slip away and the year will slip away.
But look at the
It-
people
it-
we're talking about, guys. Bill, look, you brought up win by noon, a paper planner.
mm,
Talking about a 16-minute timer. I'm talking about get yourself some help. Like, this is easy. It's not Adderall, because Adderall will drive you nuts and give you all kinds
For
of
sure.
problems. I said these are all simple solutions. And Don could tell you the number one, and I got it somewhere over here. But anyways, it's eat the biggest frog first. If you do that as an ADHD or ADD or whatever the hell category, as a distracted person, if you do that, you feel so good that it drives you to do the next thing. And it drives you to do the next thing. And it drives you to the next thing. And by noon, you really did do 4 or 5, 6, 7
Totally.
things. And so it's all about and Troy and I have had a conversation about this. A lot of times we confuse ADHD with dopamine addiction. And
I've never heard that before. Tell me more.
okay, so it's actually mass confusion, right? People say, I got diagnosed. I'm like, yeah, but nobody really talks about dopamine addiction. So what you're really looking for is stimulus. You're looking for stimulus, you're looking for stimulus, you're looking for stimulus. And so the reason you switch tasks is because the task you're doing is boring. So you're looking for another one. Let me go text message somebody, and let me go answer this phone call, and let me go to YouTube. Or like Troy said, basketball, what brand? What hoop? Wait, I need new shoes. I should change that net. Ooh, YouTube video.
Exactly. Exactly.
But so you're looking for all these hits. You're looking for dopamine. So if you can control that just a little bit and realize that what you're looking for is rewards, and you can get the
Yeah,
reward,
that makes a lot of sense.
you start to get the reward from the task at hand. And I finished this and I got a reward. And then I finished another one and I got a reward. If you can get addicted to the dopamine that comes from completing tasks instead of the one from task switching, It's the same thing. Just focus your energy on that type of reward and you'll do a lot. You really will. I mean, Dom seems
So good, man. So I'm glad to hear you say that. I've never heard that before, but it makes complete sense to me because
Yeah, it
honestly,
does.
I know I'm not ADD, but I am 100% addicted to dopamine. I get that. Don, I
Me
know
too.
you are because you're still throwing yourself around on motorcycles.
Motocross,
But
yeah.
holy cow.
Andrew
Uh,
Huberman is probably
Oh,
the expert on it. He's got a couple of wonderful videos on
he's
dopamine.
an expert on a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really sharp dudes.
So
yeah. My
I
two-stroke national championships in 2 weeks, by the way.
come on, buddy. Come on, man. Dude, that is so
Trying to get top 10
inspiring.
in the world again.
I love that. And you know what? That's why I brag about turning 70. Like I think a lot of people my age don't talk about their age. And I want to encourage people. Like we got 20, 30 something year olds on the call, but you know what? There's also
I'm
60-year
60.
olds on the call, 55 years old that are like, give me something to run at. Like, come on, man. And dude, could I retire? Yes. Am I interested in retire? Could not care even less about doing that. I love what I do. I hope that shows. I hope you can
Mhm.
tell that I love what I do. Hey, I just dropped in the video for Eat That Frog that Gino mentioned, and I know you guys know the game, but click on the link so you've got it open in a browser. When the call is done, you'll still have it. It's a great video. It's a story told by Brian Tracy, and it's
Oh,
about
yeah.
doing the worst thing first. And if you do the worst
That's where
thing
we learned it.
first every day, yeah, it's not going to weigh on you all day. You guys, that thing that you don't want to do, that call that you don't want to make, knock it out, get it done first. So I
Let
want to
me.
take you to my third bucket
I
right
had
after you say this.
Yeah, I had to reframe that for myself. The eat the biggest frog in its natural state wasn't convincing enough for me. So I had to reframe it for myself so that I could really understand it. And I said, if I get this one thing done today and I do absolutely nothing else, today will have still been successful.
That's great.
That's how I had.
Gary Keller had a great quote around that,
Oh, the one thing. He wrote a whole book on it, I think. I haven't read
right?
it yet.
Like what one thing would have the biggest impact? Yeah, great way to frame that. So you guys, it's identify, diversify, and obviously you can add, and you all should add CPAs and wealth advisors and financial planners and insurance agents. I don't want to just breeze past that. Like I think everybody hears that and they nod their head, but if you're on the call or you're listening to this later and you bust your own chops over the fact that I used to have a good CPA, but she retired. Like you need three, go get three insurance agents, go get five wealth advisors. Like, look at what Wally's building. You check out his book. If you haven't read 24/7 Mindset, I mean, he's got a whole different perspective on how to build a business. He calls it the 6-lane highway. So, diversifying it is spectacularly important right now. And recognize, you guys, I'm sure you just quoted these numbers. 74% of all realtors did 0 transactions last year.
Right?
So if we have 100 people, you guys, we live in Southern California, we're up at the Odyssey, right? You got 100 realtors up there on the mountaintop. 74 of them did no business, but they drove up in a nice car. They wear the right watch. They're carrying the right purse. And that's just the guy in the front row.
And they'll eat
Come
your
on.
food.
Come on. And eat your food, right? But you've done loans for them and oh, there's another source of income. Oh, their spouse brings in whatever. Like they look good on the surface, but they're not your prospects. So whatever you're using to get the data, you guys. Know who the realtors are that are doing business. Make sure those are the people that you're focused on. And that's going to take me to step 3, which is amplify. So amplify is here's what I am learning from clients. It's so interesting to me. I learn stuff every day. That's what I love about this business. I would have thought that when you get bigger than life on social media and you're educating people, that you're going to be influencing potential borrowers and that's the win. I'm finding that's not true. The win is on the realtor side. The win is being more visible with people who already know you. Here's what I know. Gino, if I met you today at a restaurant, we went to, I don't know, Wood Ranch Barbecue, and I see you there, I put a check mark in my brain for I saw Gino. But if I see a video that Gino did, you know what happens? My subconscious does the same thing. Check. So you guys, get big, get loud, educate people every single day, create regular content, get past the whole video thing. If you look, if you're not doing video because you don't like the way you look, then do something about how you look,
Or that's
because
just
it's
the way
not
you
video's
look.
problem, right? It's it's like
Like
it
when,
might be an Ozempic moment is all I'm saying, right?
well,
Like,
I teased Gino about that. He used to
I
try
thought
to blame that it was the cameras. There was cameras put on 10 pounds, and I teased him. I'm like, well, how many cameras are on you?
apparently, Don, it was 8. Now we know.
like,
Now we know the answer. It was 8 cameras.
Because he's lost
wow.
80 pounds.
Are you really down 80 pounds, man?
Yeah.
That is spectacular.
But more than that is what happens, and then this leads to another thing that's important, is the compound effect. Like, I've gone so far down the rabbit hole, and I did, and I'm not ashamed to say I started with Ozempic. Like, dude, use the tools. Use the tools, right? You got
Yep.
ADD problem, use this. You got a fat,
Right.
you eat too much, you use Ozempic. Like, there's tools out there to help you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Read the book.
Yep.
Right. And so, but then I went so far down the rabbit hole, like my diet's absolutely perfect. I know exactly when I should consume sugars. I know the difference between a fig and a raisin as it relates to glycemic control.
Wow.
So
Okay. You
you-
have more information than I do. Yeah.
hey, you could get crazy with it. Holy
Oh,
Dude,
look
come
at Chubby.
on.
wow.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sonia, way to show up at the right moment.
I know. She's amazing how she does that.
Incredible. Yeah. And
Dude, that's spectacular.
I'm down 25, not 80, though.
yeah.
That is fantastic.
Oh
You
man.
guys,
Hide
that
left-
is so impressive. I mean, really, that is so impressive. So look, what took us down that rabbit trail, which is a good one, is I know that people are hesitant to do video for a variety of reasons. One of them is you don't like the way you look, you don't like the way you sound. Like, just figure that out, get past it. Because when you meet somebody in the office or at Starbucks, they're going to see who you are, and you are who you are. There's a person right now that I will not mention who is very visible on social media, who is using all kinds of filters to look younger. That's a real mistake, because when people meet you personally, the thought bubble above their head says, what happened to her?
Uh-huh.
Right? Or him.
Or the real estate agent that used their card from like high school.
It's
You
the
don't even
worst.
recognize them. And
It's the
Gino
worst,
knows
you
I
guys.
walked
So-
into an agent that I worked with, and I ran into her and I didn't recognize her.
So be you, right? We all know that. We all have examples of that. So don't be that person. And by the way, the promo piece. So Sonia, the photo you used promoting this for me, that's a 10-year-old picture of me.
We
So
did that
I'll
on purpose,
send
Bill.
you, I will send you newer pictures so that you can see 70-year-old Bill, not 60-year-old Bill. I mean, it looks great. And for a moment, I think, that's awesome. I look
Actually,
really
you
good. Well,
inspire me at 70, Bill.
come on,
Full
dude.
blown.
Come on.
Full blown.
But we've got to be real about that, right? You guys. So what I'm saying about amplifying, that's the one. That's the one.
I think you look
Come
good,
on.
man. I don't see it.
I don't see much different.
I appreciate it, but
Seriously, I
I know,
wouldn't.
right? Like I
Yeah.
know how many pull-ups I was doing then, and I know how many I'm doing now. So anyway,
Yeah.
my whole point is, you guys, it's time to get loud. I have learned this again and again and again. There was a young guy I was watching at, Dave's Mortgage Mastery.
Yeah, the
event
Modern
in
Mortgage
Vegas.
Summit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
You're there.
Were you there?
Yeah, we were there.
Oh, then you heard the kid. Who was the kid? Sosi?
yeah, I love Sosa.
Sosi Avila.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're probably bringing him to Sales Mastery. We like
I
him a
think
lot.
he'd be a great guy for you to
Yeah.
have there. One of
Yeah.
the things that he said was, social media, multiply yourself to those who already know you. And that's what I'm learning from my clients. My clients are pointing out to me that I'll post something, and even if they don't like or comment, the phone might ring, or I get a text and I get a referral, because I'm creating a pattern of awareness. You guys, that is the game right now. Like, don't kid yourself. The game is being played on social media, and the more visible you are and the more you're educating. I'm not talking about, do you guys remember Walter Sanford in the 80s and 90s?
Oh
Do
yeah.
you remember Walter Sanford? You guys, he would wear cufflinks, tie pin, leaning against the hood of his Rolls Royce. Like, that's the way he was marketing himself. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I mean, you could do that, but I think it's a bad idea. It's very Trump-esque, right? Like, can you imagine what that presidential library is going to look like? Oh my
Right.
goodness. Anyway, I digress. My point simply is, get big, get loud, educate people. And here's the way that I'm telling my clients to create video content. Everybody's got something you make notes on. During the course of your day, start looking for the patterns of things that are coming up regularly. What kind of questions are coming up regularly? What kind of scenarios are you running into regularly? Create a message around that and challenge yourself to do this at least once a week. You guys, if I coached you, I would tell you the next time that we have a coaching session and you're not recording one video a week, don't call me. Like, I'm not going to pick up the phone. You must do this. You must get visible. And I'd love to see you be even more visible. So there you go. Those are my three things, guys. Identify, diversify, and amplify.
And Bill, on that last note, I'm going to give one more nugget there. Stories, stories, stories on
100%.
Stop focusing on reels. Reels are to gain followers.
Sonia, are you kidding me?
I know, right?
Seriously?
On bio.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
But
Well, that was
Can I get a
impressive,
copy
Sonia.
of that?
yeah.
Oh, she'll send it to you for sure.
Oh,
It's pretty
I'll have
cool.
to come up with a newer picture though. Yeah.
You don't look any different, by the way.
Well, that's helpful. Good to know.
Wow. That's freaking
So Gino,
cool.
I'm sorry, did you finish your thought?
I was just saying, stories is how you connect with people you already know, which are the ones
Yeah,
that
man.
are most likely to use you. So it's reels to gain new followers. Stories is where you convert. Okay, so if you're looking to convert, forget about trying to get new people, like you just said. Lean into the ones you already know. I reached out yesterday to someone I haven't talked to since embarrassed. Okay, I haven't talked to him since 2007. One of my good friends in when I was a loan officer. When we left and that company melted down and I came to work for Don, that's probably the last time I talked to him. He came to mind yesterday. I don't know why. Okay, so I sent a text message, and it was this simple. Hey, amigo, it's been a very long time. I thought of you today and wondered how you're doing.
Wow.
And then he responded, what up, Gino? How you doing? Good to hear from you. I'm good. How about you? How many kids you got now? 5?
That's awesome.
The only 3 that you know of.
Yeah, exactly.
And 23 and me just went bankrupt. So
no more evidence.
Right? I know every time it shows up, it says, you have a DNA match. I'm like, delete,
Problems.
delete.
Yeah.
but my point is, do you think I thought to myself for 1 second, what if he doesn't answer? Oh, he's going to be mad at me because, gosh, I'm not a good friend.
That's
No,
so good, dude.
if you think of someone, text them, right? And just yesterday, one of our clients that's done 100 loans with us in the past doesn't even know that we're like, I always stay in touch with him on Facebook. I'm always like, hey, man, what are you doing? I mean, Don and I got to the point we would go have drinks with him and everything. He's like one of our best clients. And, but he left
Is this
us.
Kent?
Yes, it is.
See? I even know.
Nice.
So he
Nice.
left us for US Bank, right? He got married. He got that one deal at US Bank. We couldn't touch the rate. I said, dude, do what's right for you. Stay to US Bank. And so now I'm talking to him. He calls yesterday, and I'm like, I see that he calls, and I'm like, I'm not available. I'll talk to you after 6. In the back of my mind, I'm starting to think, he had a problem with US Bank.
Yeah, exactly.
I go, this is where the bank just lost. He needs a genius now, and now he's calling, right? So he's got a problem. What problem can I solve for him?
For sure.
We got on the phone. We talked about all our cordialness. How you doing? How's the wife doing? Well, I inherited this other house, and yeah, U.S. Bank did that loan too, and I wanted to do this, and I want to do that, and I'm like, oh, okay. I go, well, how about this, and how about that, and I'm starting to talk about strategies, and I'm like, well, I don't think you did this right. I don't think you should get the HELOC that you have on your house that's too small, and now go get a non-owner HELOC. I go, the tax deductibility issue is going to be a problem. I said, we should probably just do a bigger HELOC on your primary residence. I go, because it'll be better for tax purposes, because I'm a tax nerd. So I'm like, it'll be easier and less auditable. Like, it'll be better. I go, when'd you get that HELOC? He's like, well, about 2 months ago. Why didn't you just get a $500,000 HELOC, man? Why'd you only get a $200,000 HELOC? Well, that's all US Bank could give me.
There's a problem to solve.
I got to the bottom of the thing. But the point is, when you have conversations, opportunities arise.
So cool. So I think from that, the thing that I would share with you guys and I'm happy to open it up for questions and anything. And if you guys want to throw something into chat, please do. But man, if there's one thing that I see that is just such a great play, Keith Collins. I don't know if you guys know Keith. He just left us and actually went broker model, and it's a great fit for him. He's doing great in Nashville. But one of the things that he does, he calls it 10-10-10, and I don't know where it came from. It wasn't his originally, but what he does is he goes into social and he sorts his realtors so that on Facebook he can just see his real estate agents, and he goes through and he likes, comments, or DMs a group of realtors every day, right? So the point is it's like walking into a real estate office. Hey Bob, how's it going? Hey, love the new car out there. That's awesome. It's just a quick connection point, right? But he's doing it virtually. You guys, it's so much more efficient. So if you
Yeah.
create 10-10-10, 20-20-20, a discipline to say, I'm going to go in with my real estate agents or a group of they don't have to be my real estate agents, a group of realtors. And Don, you gave the answer that I would have given with model match. That's the system we use as well to identify actual volume as to what they're doing. Because you got to look behind the curtain in a market like this, you guys. You got to know who's doing what.
We actually just showed our team yesterday how to utilize it and why it's important.
It's brilliant. You guys probably worked with them before when they
We
were
work with Eric
recruiters.
Levin quite a bit for years.
Known these guys for 25 years.
They're
It's a
amazing. They keep
brilliant
upgrading
system,
it. They keep
right?
improving
Yeah.
it all the time. And
It's a brilliant system, but you're no longer just shooting in the darkness, right? You can put a red dot on a target because you know, sweet, this person is regularly closing, 3 transactions, 5 transactions, whatever it is. Like, talk to the people that are doing business. And then the last thing I would say is provide them more value. James Allen, one of our top LOs at Movement, one of the
actually,
things
he
that
was
he
a
does is
speaker
he's what?
at the Mortgage Summit, and we're
He
talking to him
was.
as well. We're talking to
Oh,
him
you
as
heard
well
him.
for sales mastery.
He's so smart. He may
Yeah.
be one of the smartest guys I know in our business. And one of the things he talked about there, I think, was sharing his playbook with new realtors. Do you remember him talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Where he says, I can help you get offers accepted. You should ask your lender if they do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's brilliant. Like, how do you differentiate with the people that can refer you business? Because you can create a tipping point, you guys, by just helping them to see, oh, yeah, I don't think my lender does that. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Done that.
simply asking them, hey, when you send me a referral, what are 3 things that I can say about you to help to cross-sell you? Right? Now you're teaching them, well, the converse is also true. You should cross-sell me because I'm going to be cross-selling you. Here's why you should work with Gino. Let me tell you why. He's been this, he's been that, he's done this, he's done that. Like you could talk to a lot of people, but you need to talk to Don.
I just hand out 3
the
cards.
converse is true.
Yeah. You know what's
I
cool
just
is-
hand out 3 cards.
yeah.
That's a perfect system, actually. Yeah, because then you have 0 responsibility.
Yeah. Don,
Love that one.
I'm really proud right now because he basically described us as originators when we were originating. Everything
Love
that
it.
we did, we called every listing agent. Don was the master of elevating the realtor, even if they sucked. I don't know how he found
Perfect.
nice things to say about terrible realtors, but he did.
I could see Don doing that
Yeah.
in a gracious and sincere way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Don, you're gonna have to do that part because I can't do it. But the point is, we did those things to help us be successful. And today, some in our office leverage our relationships. I told them, when you write an offer to someone that the listing agent is someone that I know or Don knows, raise your hand and say, hey, don't you know this
Totally.
person? And us as the regional managers will call and say, hey, I know you just got a lead or you just got an offer from Miguel. I just wanted you to know, you may not know Miguel works for me. We have his back, and whatever you need, we'll do it for you. So
Totally.
looking at offers, make sure to pick ours. And a call from a regional or a branch manager just to get an offer accepted, yes, we do
You
those.
bet.
We have to do those things to win right now.
For sure. Pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
I have fun hanging out with you guys. I don't know why we don't do this more often. We should
And
hang
you're
out more
local. We
often.
should go hang out in person.
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Particularly there's golf involved. You're not going to get me on a motorcycle, for the record. That's not going to happen.
I
I've
have
had
2
two
more
really
races,
bad
and I think I'm
experiences.
picking up the golf clubs after that. I have the
Well, you let me
2-stroke
know.
national championships, and then I have the Mammoth motocross in June, and then I'm going probably back to golf. Because my wife's
Let's
like,
do it.
I like
Troy's
you,
in.
and yeah, Troy for sure will be in. We have Sean, who's a scratch golfer, by the way. He just
Well, I
won
can't
the
play with him. That would be
yeah. He's fun to
humiliating.
watch though. Like I invite him on my member guest, and then I ride him like a backpack.
Eric, Eric's happy to golf. Write that down, Sonia. Whoever wants to come golfing with us, if you're in Southern
That'd
California,
be fun.
go ahead.
Nice.
And there, let's put a little event together. I'm sure it'll be fun. I'll drive.
Yeah.
And I don't mean drive the ball. I mean drive the car.
Understood. The
Yeah.
cart.
Yes.
And by the way, if it's a vehicle with 4 wheels, I'm guessing it'll be a nice one.
No,
Because that's your world, you know?
Not anymore.
Believe it or not, it was my world. I'm hyper focused on other things right now, and
I love that.
this is totally a segue for another time. But life has seasons, and the season for fast cars is probably over for me for now.
I appreciate that.
Priorities, and there's things that, you know, people say, well, what do you enjoy now? What are your hobbies now? And I said, well, medical research, which is a weird hobby, but it's a hobby. You know, it's a thing. I'm into it. So
Very cool.
and then AI. I'm really starting to nerd out a little bit on
Dude.
AI. So on a Sunday, rather than answering mortgage emails, I might spend 3 hours looking at how to use AI,
I love that.
how to build agentic AIs, and how to build agents that you could build the CEO of a company, and then you could build all the executive team, and then you could build a virtual company in an AI where the actual AIs delegate things to each other. It's amazing. I'm not there yet.
Wow.
I've seen it. I just haven't been able to implement it yet, but give me a few more months and I'll have it.
Whatever it was, Gino, that I thought we might have in common just ended. It just ended.
Look, I love cars. Don't get me wrong. I'm just
Yeah,
not,
fair enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
just
I
not
get that.
spending time or money on them right now.
Hey, I appreciate that. Did you connect with Eric Post in Vegas, Whoosy.ai?
Yeah, a little
Yeah, a
bit.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
spent
just
more time.
intrigued by that. I don't know what exactly he's got going there, but
That's
it,
exactly what he has. He has a agentic AI is what that's called.
yep.
Yeah.
And it's, but mortgage and real estate specific,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a call scheduled with him next week. I want to take a look at that.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's
you
just
guys, I
early.
always love hanging out with you. Any questions anybody has in there?
I
Like,
just want your opinion because I just put in chat. I'm hoping because this is not, self-promotion, it's value add. You talk about that. Our goal with Momentum Builder is truly, you've known this since day one. That's why you've been a great supporter of ours, Bill, is to
yeah, man.
become the best resource for the housing industry. Meaning
bet.
anything you need to be successful, we are going to bring to you. And we just want to make sure that all of you that are on this call are going to Sales Mastery because it will be a life-changing experience. It is not just an event like any other. We are pouring all our efforts in. Todd is on calls. Todd Duncan's on calls with me 3 days a week. This is going to be a game changer. And you're crazy if you haven't signed up, but I'd love you to commit now because Bill, you'll love this is we're adding value now. When you get fuel for 90 days, you get shredded for 15 days, you get selling power magazine, but you also get monthly calls with Todd Duncan on building strategies so that you're building momentum between now and October. Why wait till October? Why not start building your momentum now? So we'd love for you guys to register today. There's an early bird discount right now. Sonia already put up a discount code. It's right there, more momentum. We just want you're our family. We want you there because this is where we get to hang out together. Like we talked about, Bill, there's nothing like networking and hanging out with our friends. This is our community. This is your community. I'm trying to get people to commit because it's so easy to go, oh yeah,
sure.
I think I'm going to go. Why not commit now and start getting value now and
Totally.
crush your boundaries? That's my 2 cents.
In fact, we have someone that may end up on stage that ironically enough, was on one of the first calls that we did, and he was so inspired.
Oh yeah,
by the call that we did with Todd Duncan, he was so inspired that he's always a childhood dream was to become a pilot. He was so inspired on that call that he ran off and took his first ground school lesson. 2 weeks later, he sends Sonia, hey, I'd like to get a refund. I won't be at Sales Mastery. I just quit mortgage lending. And so I call him and I'm like, dude,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? And he goes, this is it. I'm going to become a pilot. He's like, so I said, listen, you become a pilot, you get your certification, and said,
In the
we'll
meantime,
put you on stage when we get
Oh, that's a great play. I
when we
love
get
that.
to sales mastery. And he says, yeah, but I've got this obstacle to overcome. I go, what's that? And he goes, I need 15 to 20 grand. I said, dude, listen to what you just said. You asked him, what's your average loan amount? I went through that whole exercise. I said, you are 5 to 10 loans away from
your
living
dream.
your dream. Do not
Absolutely.
quit doing loans. Sell 10 loans, then quit, then go get your childhood dream, and then come tell the story on stage.
Totally.
So there is value in these calls. We always look to inspire one person to be the best version of themselves.
Oh my
There you go.
goodness. I love that so much. Let me just say this about sales mastery, you guys. You know, for years when I was with Building Champions, we were the coaching arm with Todd
Changed my
at
life.
Sales Mastery.
Changed
All
my
our
life.
clients came
Changed
through
my life.
Sales Mastery. It was
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
And what I know is that was the connection point of the year. Everybody came through that funnel. It was, hey, will I see you at Mastery? Will you be there? So you guys, this opportunity with the early bird opportunity, again, if I coached you, I would just tell you to do that now. Just do that now. You're going to save money. You do it every place else when you have an annual fee versus a monthly, like everybody does the annual to save money. Do this to save money. You will not be let down. Combining what these guys have done with Momentum Builders with what Todd has done for 25 or 30 years, over 30 years with Sales Mastery. Yeah, that's an event you're not going to want to miss. If you're going to be in this industry, at least for the next 12 months, you need to be there.
Or if you want to be
You need to be there.
inspired on the call and quit and have your childhood dream, that'll work too.
I love
you
that
got to
so
figure out how to
much,
pay
man.
for it, though.
Dude, I used to sell airplanes. Like, this is right up my alley. I
Oh,
understand.
that's
I
funny.
taught ground school. Come
There you
on.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Oh,
Well,
look
here's
at
their
that.
upcoming sessions. You know these peeps, right, Bill? They're freaking rock stars.
Absolutely, man. Kai McBride is a golf buddy. Invite him, by the way, to the
Oh, yeah.
golf outing we're
We
putting
hung out
together.
with them at Mortgage Summit, by the way.
For sure.
Like that whole day. We went to dinner with him and the whole 9 yards.
Such a
He's
good dude. So
yeah,
smart.
very good dude. He's on his game, so we got him coming up. Bill, you are a